Mafia: The Old Country was one of the games I was really looking forward to playing this year. Does it live up to my expectations, and how does it compare to past titles? Let's find out in this video as I give my thoughts on the game.
And who are you, Enzo?
Before we start, I want to talk about my history with the Mafia games. I didn't play any of these games when they were first released. I remember seeing Mafia 3 trailers when that game was coming out. My first Mafia game though was the Definitive Edition that came out back in 2020, which was a remake of the first game. And let me tell you, I really enjoyed it. The Godfather-inspired crime drama set in 1930s America felt like a breath of fresh air. I instantly picked up 2 and 3 after that. I enjoyed 2 as well, not as much as 1, but it was a good follow-up. But 3, I stopped after 5 to 6 hours. I couldn't get into it at all and the open world felt super repetitive. So when I saw a game called Mafia: The Old Country being revealed, I was extremely excited. Mafia: The Old Country takes the series back to Italy, back to Sicily. It explores the origins of Sicilian crime families and how they connect to the original games. So it's a prequel, and a very good one at that.
Made it in time. Hey, remember, Spadaro and his men will be around. Watch your mouth and don't draw attention to yourself.
Mafia: The Old Country is developed by Hangar 13 Games and published by 2K. The trailer showed more of a linear narrative driven game, and yes, the game is that. This game is a linear story driven action game. I saw many people complain about the game being linear and less open world compared to older games in the series. I want to talk about that aspect first, and the runtime of the game, because those seem to be the most controversial topics at the moment. There's an open world in this game, but you can't explore it like you traditionally could. The game guides you to these places that are interconnected open areas. Because of how well paced these traversing segments are, you do get a feeling of as you were exploring this beautiful world. There are collectibles to be found around the map that adds to that feeling. These collectibles can be in the form of statues, which are charms to enhance your skills like finding more ammo or finding more currency when you loot. And I like the way it was done. They are beads and medallions for your necklace, a clever way to implement that into the time period. There are even more things like newspaper clippings, letters, treasures to sell and upgrade your skills even more. The world map is done in a great way as well. It has this cool perspective of 2D and 3D. By making the game more linear, they focused more on the gameplay, the story, and the characters. Let me tell you, they did a great job. The gameplay in this game is good enough that it made me hooked from start to finish. It is nothing groundbreaking or innovative, but it is well done. The character movements feel like your standard third-person action game. Enzo, the main character, can sneak around places and sense the enemies, similarly to how it was done in The Last of Us. The stealth gameplay is solid. The sneaking around and taking down enemies feel rewarding because you loot them after taking them down. This way you can gain more currency to customize or upgrade your equipment. Personally, when it comes to looting, I'm a loot whore. So I was just looting people while they were shooting at me. I was really dedicated to looting every enemy.
Isabella! No, we'll get to her. Don't let them get any closer. Get him out!
The enemy AI is passable, it is dumb, and is there for you to have a good time. So they don't generally pose a challenge. You can either choke these enemies or straight up kill them, and the killing animations are actually really well made and look realistic. You can also dump their bodies in box crates like how it is done in Hitman, or you can go guns blazing. The game encourages both playstyles as there are a lot of ammo laying around these areas. The shooting is probably the weakest part of the game though. The headshots feel good and easy to pull off, but the feeling of shooting felt off. There are no tensions in the DualSense triggers and I'm used to having haptic feedback in my modern games, so it was sad to see not being there. It feels hollow and empty because of that. Luckily though, the enemies are in bullet sponges, so they go down easily, but you can get swarmed by enemies if you don't take cover and you will die. The shooting was okay, but this game features tense knife fights and they really worked for me. As you attack, lunge, block or parry every time there was a knife fight, I was in pure joy and thrilled to play it. It wasn't that difficult, but still some bosses posed a challenge, so I wanted to improve my knife combat. You can traverse these open areas with your horse or car. Riding a horse feels okay, you can make it go faster with your spurs and there are different kinds of horses that have different gameplay attributes. Same with cars. These cars come in different shapes and sizes. The driving is nothing special, but good enough for me to drive all the way to my destination, because there's a quality of life option. You can skip these horse or car rides. They both have been implemented in the story as well, as there are races for horse racing and car racing. These segments were really fun even if they were scripted. So overall the gameplay is pretty good, but it could have been better. What was really good though, the graphics. They were absolutely gorgeous. The sceneries with these nature and old Sicilian architecture were so well crafted it made me feel immersed into this world even more. It is quite rare for games to have this setting, so seeing it being represented this well was amazing. Driving in these roads and taking in the atmosphere was one of the best parts of the game, and the cutscenes were so well made. The lighting really shined as a positive. It created this mood which I wasn't expecting. The devs and the artists deserved all the praise they get. But the performance of the game was hit and miss. Mostly hit, but some areas could have had more time to refine and sort it out. I played on performance mode, and the gameplay was smooth for the most of the time, with some frame dips here and there, especially when the gunfight got too intense with multiple enemies shooting at once. And let me tell you, the gameplay to cutscene transitions were rough. At times it was okay, but most of the time going from 60 frames per second gameplay to what looked like to me 30 frames per second cutscene was jarring. The actual performance of either the gameplay or the cutscenes were fine, it's just that transitions stood out to me like a sore thumb. Where the game really shines for me is in its story and characters. Mafia the Old Country takes us back to the roots of organized crime, the beautiful Sicily. We play as a young man called Enzo. The story starts off with him working in sulfur mines as a forced labor worker. We quickly learn that he has been there since childhood. Enzo and his friend Gaetano make plans to escape until Gaetano gets killed under rubble. Enzo takes this opportunity to flee the mines and his labor camp. The people who basically own Enzo come chasing him, but fortunately, we meet Don Torrisi, who saves Enzo by taking him into his so-called family. Enzo starts to do odd jobs here and there, carry this, escort this person, clean up horse shit, etc. After earning Don Torrisi's trust, Enzo starts to grow, and that's where the story evolves, as does Enzo. We see him come from literally nothing to end up having a life he dreamt of. Enzo's progress and his character development is the key factor into making this an engaging, well-written, solid story. And on top of that, seeing how a place operated and how people lived before World War I was very intriguing, because we know how that war changed everyone's lives. As someone who loves history, I was really enjoying this side of Italian history. Like I said, we rarely get to see it represented in any media. I felt like I learned a lot while playing this game as well. On top of having a great world building, the actual story was really fun to follow from start to finish. You are rooting for Enzo and you feel like you are loyal to your family as well, even if the way they go about doing business isn't the best or the most morally good. It was a great classic crime drama story. But now, let's talk about this cast of characters. Enzo, like I said, is a newcomer, an outsider looking to earn his place in the family. He's ambitious but cautious, torn between doing what's right and doing what's necessary.
No! Please! No!
The story lets you slowly peel back his layers, showing how each decision shapes his future. Enzo was a great lead for this story. He's such a good protagonist to follow. Playing as him and experiencing his story from start to finish was super rewarding. Don Torrisi is the boss of the family. He's the kind of person who rarely raises his voice, but commands respect with every word. He seemed very patient, but most importantly, he values loyalty above all else, and we get to see that in detail.
Bravery is not common in this world, Enzo. Loyalty, honor, obedience. They set a man apart from the rest.
Him taking Enzo in was a gesture that showed he does care for these helpless people, but expects something in return when he saves them. Isabella is Don Torrisi's daughter and the love interest of Enzo. She was a strong and independent character that works so well within this story. She starts out as a simple flirtatious character for Enzo, but becomes so much more by the end. Her progress and character development complemented Enzo and made them a good couple to follow. Luca is the right-hand man to Don Torrisi and a great sporting character. He's been with this family for years and is fiercely protective of his reputation. Even from the start, he treats Enzo with respect and teaches him how this kind of life works. He has morals and is respected. I wish we would have seen more of him, but he was a good companion to have. Cesare is a wild card. He is Don Torrisi's nephew, and like every crime story, there is one unpredictable figure, the person who plays by their own rules. At first he came across as a total dick, but slowly, as Enzo rised up in the ranks, he became a loyal friend. He is charismatic in his own ways, but I never felt at ease having him around in his missions. But having a character like this definitely made the story even better and richer. More side characters filled this world out, and they all really worked. From street level enforcers to rival gang leaders who want to crush the family, the sporting cast adds more nuance to the world. Each has their own small arcs and moments that make the city feel alive and lived in. And I gotta say, every voice actor did a great job and make these characters more believable. Overall, Mafia: The Old Country is a very solid entry in this classic series. As it's a prequel, it can be enjoyed as your entry point, but it is better if you have played the originals, as you will appreciate how far this series and the crime family drama has come. Seeing the origins of Mafia with a breathtaking Sicilian backdrop made this game stand out compared to modern third-person action games. The story and characters definitely carried this game. They were so well written, and Enzo was a great lead. The gameplay was pretty good at best, but it should have been way better and more engaging to play. Still, I would recommend this game to anyone who enjoys third-person, single-player, narrative-driven action games. I'm really looking forward to where the series goes from now on. My score for Mafia: The Old Country is an 8.5 out of 10. So let me know down below, what is your favorite Mafia game? And if you played this one, what did you think of it? As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see everyone on the next video.